Hello everybody, Raven Knight here, coming at you with another update video. I know Easter was just yesterday, but still want to get these out there weekly so that one, I have some footage out to give you, some information to give you every week, and two, well, it's just something to keep me busy. Anyway, guys, the typical shell. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Subscriptions always help. We've reached 21,000 subscribers, which is phenomenal. Let's keep it going. Leave a like on the video if you enjoy it, and leave a comment down below with your thoughts, questions, and your concerns. I always read the comments. So, let's get started. First off, we're going to start off with... well, y'all told me in the last update video that you like to have me talk about what's going on personally for me. Well, I'll just tell you, not a lot new has changed. There hasn't been a lot of update there. Still looking for a job. Still trying to figure out what I'm going to do because Longhorns just isn't it. What I'm thinking is probably going to happen. This is just my best guess. I'll probably be at Longhorns for probably the rest of summer. I would rather not, but... they've been good to me, genuinely. The management has been good to me, and I guess I do kind of owe it to them to help them get through this busy month. It'll probably kill me, but that's the reason. And also, I want to say that I don't hate Longhorns. This isn't me coming out against them at all. I love it. I love the food. I love the people that work there for the most part. It's a good job, but it's just not for me, and I've realized that over time. And the difficult part is going up to them and saying, hey, I know you're in a pinch right now because you have so few employees, but now you're going to lose me too. That's a very difficult thing to say. So what I'm probably going to do is just get through the rest of summer with them, and then once I get the chance, I'll leave, go into substitute teaching maybe, or get a job at the church, something like that. Maybe it won't pay quite as well, but it will be a different thing. And more on that note, I don't know, guys. I feel perpetually tired. It's just constant fatigue. It's one of those things where you're always sleepy. I don't know if it's because I'm overworked or if it's because of the depression. I don't know what it is, but I'm just tired. I'm just always exhausted. And people notice, even Lark will be like, you look tired, man. Or a friend will see me and they'll say, hey, man, you look worn out. And I'll go, yeah, because I am. Just one of those things, I guess, But anyway, that's enough of that. You don't need to worry about me too much. I'll manage. I always manage too, I get it. Boy. Anyway, on to other stuff. For Honor stuff. So I got this message today. Apparently, I missed a part of Ramyel's story that just came out today, a part 3. I read it. I'll make a brief video talking about it, sort of talking about the final moments of Ramyel to sort of make it fit, but I'll be real honest, guys, it doesn't really add anything extra except for explain that they lost the battle, all the wyverns were killed, and Ramyel's still alive. Supposedly. It just gone into the realm of legend. And I'll be frank, guys, there are a lot of questions. It doesn't make it any better for me. In my video about Ramyel, I said that while it was good, it felt unfinished. There were a lot of things that needed to be added. I felt that could have added to it. And I'll be honest, reading this third part, it didn't fix anything. In fact, it added more questions. For example, Ramyel's forces lost the Battle of Wyverndale. So where did that Obsidian army go? Where did they disappear to? Why aren't they still around? Why did they target Ramyel and Wyverndale in the first place? What was so important about it? It just seemed like any other city or castle. What happened to the people of Wyverndale? The citizens who were running for shelter, what happened to them? Did they all die, or did they go on to start all the other factions? You get my point. It's kind of like, what happened next? Maybe there'll be a part 4 and they'll answer that, but I doubt it at this point. But then again, I was wrong about Ramyel's story only being 2 parts, so who knows? Point being, it didn't really help. Even if I'd read part 1, 2, and 3 in my first video, I would have pretty much said the same things. Yeah, it's good, don't get me wrong. I like Ramyel's story. It's just unfinished. It needs a little bit more. Alright, so other than Ramyel's story, Zhang Jun's Hero in History is being worked on. Yes, I'm actually doing it. There's been this talk from people saying, why would you even do Zhang Jun's Heroes in History? You kind of already did it because you did a 3-part series on Guan Yu, and that's who Zhang Jun's based on. And you're right, I did do that 3-part series before I started Heroes in History, but that was, and you're right, you could technically count that, but come on, I've done Heroes in History for all the other characters, even ones who had very obvious connections. Like people, I had one person say, why are you doing Nobushi? She's totally based on Onobugeisha. Why are you doing what was it? Why are you doing the Roman Centurion? They're obviously based on Centurions. Well, yeah, but I'm still gonna do it. I still want to do my due diligence, so I'm not leaving Zhang Jun hanging, I'm going to do that one. So, yeah, look forward to that. And then my next Legends video, I'm probably just going to do Bao Shen. I've wanted to do Bao Shen for a while, and because he got a special mention in my last Legends video, I feel like he needs his moment as well. As long as there are no objections, of course. I mean, if y'all don't want to hear Bao Shen's legend, let me know, but I'm still going to do it. And then finally, For Honor and Glory. No excuse there. I just haven't gotten around to working on it. I just got to get it done. I got to sit down, actually write it out, get it done. No excuse. Just got other things going on, and I haven't had time to sit down and do it. I'm over the hiatus part. It's not like I'm sitting here going, oh no, how am I going to fix it? Oh, I fixed it. I just got to sit down and do it. It's not really procrastination. I've just got a lot going on. But anyway, let's move on to the next part. Not just For Honor stuff, but Dead by Daylight stuff. So people said that they wanted it, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to release a video about the Mother, my own original killer for Dead by Daylight. I'll tell you her bio, I'll tell you her power, and I'll tell you her perks in a video, just to sort of give you an idea of what I went through to come up with this. I'll also give Lark a special mention. He was great for bouncing ideas off of. We both managed to come up with this full bio together, and he liked the power I came up with and the perks, so I think it was a joint effort on that, and we enjoyed doing it together, so look forward to that video. Also, in other news on Dead by Daylight, I'm going to be doing the Onrio analysis soon. I really want to talk about that because I like the Ringu movies, and I did say Ringu, not the ring. It's really weird when you say Ringu because Ringu just means ring, so literally the English translation of Ringu is ring movies, but people say Ringu because there's an American version called The Ring, and people don't want to get them confused, so they say the Ringu. It's weird. But regardless of that, I have seen both movies, The Ring and Ringu. I personally like Ringu more, but The Ring actually isn't terrible. It just didn't suit my taste. Anyway, so look forward to that, and I will be talking about that in the coming future. And finally, I'm going to talk briefly about bullying killers. Here's the funny thing. Remember, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Whenever people say that For Honor is abnormally toxic, here's the thing about abnormal toxicity. In For Honor, the most toxic things people can do are 1, ganking, 2, emote spamming over your body, 3, light spamming, and 4, chat spamming. Those are the worst things you can do. Okay? They don't prevent you from playing the game. They don't prevent you from enjoying yourself in another match later, because you could just have a really crappy toxic match and then go on to another match later, which is perfectly fine. And ganking has just been a part of any 4v4 game mode since the beginning of ever, so I don't really qualify it as a big issue. Besides, as Slanderous and Maul have both pointed out, ganking can be countered because if all 4 players are in one zone, they're leaving the other 2 zones exposed in Dominion, so you can easily turn it around thanks to their ganking. And there have been moments where we have turned matches around because of ganking, so genuinely, it's not that big a deal. But with Dead by Daylight, it is different. The most toxic, quite often the toxicity comes from either the killer camping or tunneling, but that's about it from the killer. I can't think of anything else the killer can do that is really that toxic. But with survivors, it is body blocking, pallet looping, butt dancing, flashlight spamming, taunting, butt dancing at the exit gates. Just there are a plethora of things that survivors do. That's why the common joke right now is that the game is not about a killer hunting down survivors and the survivors are desperate to get away. The game is about how much can we abuse the killer. Genuinely, this is true. Every time I play Dead by Daylight, whenever I pick a killer, I get into a match right away. Like, bam, it only takes a few seconds. If I play Survivor, it could take a few minutes before I get into a match. And I wondered why, but Lark pointed out it's probably because very few people want to play killers. Very few people want to play killers because it's like, why would I want to get bullied? That's one of the biggest things about Dead by Daylight that turns me off to it so often. It's like, why would I want to play killer when all people are going to do is just abuse the heck out of the killer? It annoys the heck out of me. It's kind of like, okay, you won. Stop butt dancing at the exit gate and just go. I don't care. You know I won't be able to catch you. Just get out of here. The best part about it, though, is if you use perks or anything to try to counter this toxicity, like if you run Noed or Hex Devour Hope or Hex Ruin or any of these very powerful perks to help counter this, oh, you're going to hear it from them. It's going to be, oh, you toxic killer, you noob killer, you're just complete trash. Like, really? When all of you are running Decisive Strike, when all of you are running Dead Hard, Dead by Daylight is just playing Dead by Daylight. It proves to me, For Honor's abnormally toxic? No. Dead by Daylight is abnormally toxic. I don't know how to fix it, I'm just saying. Something that I thought I'd say there. Not really my rant, but just something I thought I'd say there. Anyway, alright, so on to the next portion, my writing stuff. So Fantastical History will be making a return next month. Me and Lark have been talking about it. The big problem we had is, once we're done talking about fantasy races, which we're not quite done with yet, but when we are done, we need to know what are we going to do with Fantastical History then. Well, we've come up with some ideas, so we now know what we're going to do. We're going to try to do something unique with Fantastical History, so that will be coming back. Raven's Writing Room will be making a return as well. And I've been thinking about this. I want to share some character concepts and how I construct them. A lot of people message me to say, hey man, how do you construct a character? And there's no one way to do it. So what I want to do is share a few characters that I've made, like Tomaki, Rebecca Anderson, Oichi Taiga, some of the major characters that I've made in my stories, and share what I did to craft them and how I made sure to make them not only believable, but seem realistic, and also so that they felt like real characters rather than just plot points. But that's something that I'm thinking about doing. If y'all would like to see more of that, let me know, and I will gladly do it. Alright, so now on to the miscellaneous stuff. Lark's next video, next Lamentations, will be a little lamentation on the Hyuga clan and Naruto, and it will be short. That's why it's called a little lamentation. The Hyuga clan and Naruto is one that has kind of annoyed Lark for a long time. Even back when we were huge fans of Naruto, they annoyed him. And for reasons that may surprise you, I think you'll actually like it, so look forward to that. I'm actually going to help him with that because I am more familiar with Japanese samurai clan structures, and I think the Hyuga is very much based on that structure, so we're going to talk about that. Also, people have been asking, and so what Lark and I are going to do is we're going to revisit the Assassin's Creed graded series. We might even restart it, like take down the old videos and start over, because we've got new grading criteria, new things to talk about with each game. So we'll see. We haven't confirmed that yet, but we will be returning to it. And finally, alright, I'll have to rewatch it all to see where I left off, but I will try to make time to return to the Crusade series again. Apparently, there are some people out there who really like it, and as some have pointed out, I started that series when I was only at like maybe below 1,000 subs. Now that I'm at almost 22,000 subs, you know, I might have a larger audience for that. I don't know. More people seem to care about when I talk about For Honor than they do when I talk about history, but who knows? Maybe it'll be something creative. Maybe it'll be something to help pad out the channel a bit more. Let me know if y'all would really like to see that, and I will gladly do it. Okay, so now that all that's out of the way, let's get on with a Raven's rant, shall we? Today, got a very interesting rant topic for you. I get this question asked a lot. Why do you like anime, Raven? Why is Raven so? Why do Raven and Lark like anime so much? Okay, I'm gonna explain. It's actually kind of funny. When Lark and I were in school, like high school and stuff, liking anime was a taboo thing. You weren't supposed to like anime, and if people found out you did, you were usually bullied for it, because anime had a bit of a weird influence, I guess. It brought out the weirdness in people. But here's the thing, when I became a teacher, everyone liked anime. In fact, if you didn't know what Dragon Ball Z was, or Full Metal Alchemist was, or Naruto Shippuden or Boruto was, you were seen as weird. People would say, wait, you don't know who Goku is? So it kind of funny, right? How did that change? What happened? What's something that anime gives that makes it so enjoyable? Well, we have a theory. One of the reasons, probably not the only reason, but one of the reasons is because anime hasn't run dry on ideas. Anime has this weird power to take something so mundane or simple and turn it into an incredible joyride. For example, one of my favorite anime is My Roommate is a Cat. The title alone tells you all you need to know. It tells the story of this novelist who is running dry on ideas, so he comes across a stray cat, takes it in, and tries to use the cat as inspiration to help him write his novel. Problem is, this dude is an incredible social introvert. He hates interacting with other people. So we see this guy trying hard to avoid interacting with other people, But having a cat now comes with responsibilities like feeding the cat, going out to buy cat litter and cat food, stuff like that. He's having to interact more with people through the influence of this cat. But also in the same episode of the anime, because the anime has two parts. The first part of the episode will follow this guy. The second part will retell the whole story that you just watched, but this time from the cat's perspective. So you may see something that the cat does from the author's perspective that it's like, why did you do that? But then you'll see later why the cat did that and what was going on in the cat's mind that made them want to do that. It's incredibly clever. It's only 12 episodes long, but it's incredibly clever. And all it came from was this idea of, wow, look, it's the story of a dude and his cat. Another story that I really like is the rehabilitation of an MMO junkie. This story is about a woman who is fed up with her job, fed up with being railroaded every time she tries to get somewhere in life, so she quits her job and goes back into playing MMORPGs, which she used to do when she was younger, and decides to try to get back involved with it. She creates a male character for herself to further escape from her own reality, runs into a group of people there, and meets this one female character in there who is really nice to her, very friendly, and very supportive of her and her decisions, only to find out that this female character is being played by a male person that she knows in real life, and this turns into a very awkward romance between the two inside the MMORPG and in real life. It's hysterically funny, but very basic. And again, the premise is, it's about this simple person who just got fed up with life and wanted to dive into the world of MMORPGs. I'll bet there are some people out there who can relate to something like that. And then you're thinking, okay, Raven, those are slice of life stories, but what about, superhero stuff? One Punch Man, the story of a superhero who got so incredibly strong he beats everything. Sounds boring, right? Until you realize that the story isn't really about him so much as it is about all these other characters that are trying to beat the monster but can't. We follow them more so than Saitama. Saitama, this poor guy just wants to have a good time and he can't find that joy anymore. It's very well written. It's very well done. It's creative. It's clever. There's a lot of great ideas out there, and that's not even scratching the surface. There are so many creative and unique anime ideas out there, and for some reason, Eastern storytelling, Japanese storytelling, somehow has this ability to take very simple ideas and go all over the place with them. They have at least, 3 or 4 anime about golf. There's an anime about fishing. Food Wars is an anime literally about cook-offs that would make Gordon Ramsay blush because of how weird it gets. And people like to make fun of anime for its harem protagonists and harem anime and ecchi and stuff like that. But give it credit, even though they follow similar tropes, they can come up with very creative concepts to put these harem anime in. Okay, let's be fair. But now let's compare that to Western storytelling. Western storytelling is pretty much all the same thing, isn't it? When's the last time we got something really creative out of Marvel? When's the last time we got something really creative out of Star Wars? I mean, let's face it. The first new Star Wars sequel movie, Star Wars The Force Awakens, was essentially just trying to be the first Star Wars movie, A New Hope. That's what it was essentially trying to be. Just removing all the character from Rey that Luke had. And Disney is so dry on ideas, they can't even come up with new content. They're just taking old classics and remaking them into live-action versions, but without the heart of what was originally in the first ones. In fact, I'd argue that all these live-action movies are becoming very strangely identical in terms of what they had. You can bet there's going to be a female protagonist who don't need no man, is usually emotionally stagnant, is strong because of woman, very basic, very repetitive, you know what it's going to be. You know how it's going to turn out. They're going to try to twist the story somehow, like we've talked ad nauseum about Mulan, but you gotta bring it up. Whereas the original Mulan had a character who had to learn to overcome her own struggles and personal doubts and own shortcomings and flaws, you have another one who is so lacking in flaws, the only flaw they give her is that she's not good at hiding her perfection, and it turns out that was her issue. She shouldn't have been hiding her perfection in the first place. What? It just makes me laugh. It just makes me laugh. You'll add diversity quotas for no reason. Like I said, we're going to take this character that you love and we're going to make them a different race or gender now. But you'll still love them anyway. Oh, will you keep the same personality? Oh, no, heck no with that. But you'll still love them anyway. Because you love the original. Western storytelling has become so stagnant, so uncreative. That's why I think so many people run to anime, because anime is at least giving us something new and unique in everything that they do. I'm watching Spy X Family right now, a show about a spy who has to create a false family. And through this false family, he adopts a little girl who it turns out is a telepath. He has no idea, but she can read everyone's minds. And she is so desperate for a family that she won't tell him that she's a telepath and won't let on that she knows he's a spy because she read his mind. But she just wants to be loved. She just wants a family, so she's clingy to this guy. And then he ends up marrying a woman named Yor, who is desperate for a husband and child too, not because she wants a family necessarily, but because she is an assassin and needs a cover story. So these three people, who are all in this false family dynamic, all have their own reasons for wanting to do it, all have secret identities that they're trying to hide from each other and from the world, and yet they're slowly starting to fall in love with each other. Who comes up with that?
やめる時も悲しみの時もどんな困難が訪れようとも共に助けよう。はい。任務が殺しが続く限り。
That's so creative! That's such a cool idea! When's the last time we got anything like that out of the West? When's the last time we got anything like that out of Hollywood? Mahler did a video not too long ago on Black Widow, and he said in it that Hollywood has forgotten what morality is. And I would agree with that wholeheartedly. They have characters make decisions and have stories go in directions that either assassinate characters that have already been pre-established or make us question the decisions that they've made, because it's like, why would they do this? For what purpose would they do this? How does this benefit anyone? Whereas with anime, we see such unique and creative stories being made over and over again, where not only are the morality and characters consistent, but the stories are so investing and so gripping that it makes you want to keep watching all the way to the end. There was a time the West could do that. Whenever I get on Disney Plus, I almost never watch anything modern. I almost never watch anything recent. It is always classic Disney. Snow White, Cinderella, Pocahontas, Robin Hood, Mulan, the originals, not the remakes, the originals. Why? Because the originals had heart. The originals were creative. Like, I would even say that, let's use another example. The Princess and the Frog. The Princess and the Frog. Okay, you're taking the story of the Princess and the Frog, which you can break down in just a few sentences, right? The original story of the Princess and the Frog, a prince is turned into a frog by an evil witch or something. A princess comes along and finds the frog. The frog tells her that he is a prince and that if she kisses him, he'll turn back to normal. She kisses him, frog turns back to normal, the two live happily ever after. You can add little tidbits and additions to it if you want to, but that's pretty much the premise, right? Disney's version of The Princess and the Frog was to set it in 2030s or 40s New Orleans. No, sorry, 1930s or 40s New Orleans. Sorry, I misspoke there. Set it in New Orleans, following a mostly black cast. Not a problem. Pretty cool idea. Have the prince a selfish narcissist who's just trying to marry someone to get money, and in his greed ends up turning into a frog thanks to a voodoo witch doctor. Again, clever. Have a girl who is just trying to fulfill the wish of her dead father and fulfill her dream of owning a restaurant. Again, creative, but in her attempt to try to take the short and easy path, she tries to kiss the prince so that he will give her money, which ends up cursing her too. Creative way of showing a moral quandary. She tried to take the quick and easy road, and that had a backlash. And now they have to learn that it's not always about A, getting all the money you ever wanted, and B, working yourself to death so you neglect social living, but learning that love and connection is more important than anything else. With a slew of songs and colorful characters and some slapstick comedy in there thrown in for good measure. That's the last thing I can really say Disney did that I said, wow, what a creative concept. What a good idea. You took something that was very basic and you turned it into something phenomenal. That's the last time I can remember Disney actually doing that creatively, doing that in such a unique and fascinating way. I loved it. I can't remember Disney ever doing that since then. Oh, sure, they've had attempts. Oh, sure, they've had some interesting concepts and ideas. But this was the last one where I thought, wow, you took something I didn't expect much from and made it enormous. Anime does that with almost everything it releases. And you know what? Let's be fair here. There's some anime I don't like. Like, most people know me by now and know that I don't like Naruto. Yes, I do need to eventually do a rant on Naruto. Not today, soon. But even Naruto, I have to accept, has a creative concept behind it. Do I think it's always good? No. But it is something that enraptures the attention of thousands upon thousands of people. One Piece is one of the weirdest anime ever created. It is the equivalent of Looney Tunes, just with a lot more action. And yet it encapsulates so much that people are beloved to. And even old anime. One of my first anime that I really got into was Ranma 1/2, an anime from the 80s. And it's hilarious. It's one of the most creative anime I've ever seen. I think my point is this. I'm not trying to flaunt how awesome anime is versus Western storytelling. That's not my goal here. My goal here is to say this. One of the reasons why people like anime is because Western storytelling has run out of ideas. They're stagnant on ideas. And the problem is, it's not that the ideas aren't there. There are plenty there. They have as Princess and the Frog proved, they have the potential to create something really, really good out of something very, very basic. The problem is they are afraid to do anything new. For some reason, they've decided, you know what, we're not going to take those risks. We're not going to take those bold steps anymore. We're just going to take what we think the audience wants to see, what's politically or socially acceptable or relevant at the time. What do we need right now? Oh, we're in a current political and social climate where we need a lot of diversity, a lot of people of color in it. Okay, let's sprinkle in some black people here, some Asians there, some Hispanics there. Just look at the new Halo TV series for proof of that. What else do we need? Oh, we need gay representation, LGBTQ representation. All right, let's throw in a few pictures of women kissing and men holding hands. Let's get that in there. Okay, next, what else do we need? We need socio-political narratives about how right-wing government is evil. Okay, let's throw in an evil right-wing government right there. Okay, next. And you see, did I not just describe the first episode of the Halo TV series right there? And the sad thing is, that's not alone. That's not a side case. There's a lot of cases like that out there where it's like, why? Why would you do this? Why do we need this? I'm not saying you can't add those things in there. I'm not saying that they can't be creative. But when you see it over and over again, it starts to become less about, man, what a creative story, and more about, man, I sure noticed what y'all were trying to peddle me. And here's the crazy part about it. Instead of actually acknowledging, okay, yes, maybe we do this too often, they use that as their shield. When people criticize the movie, like when people criticize Beauty and the Beast, the remake of Beauty and the Beast, people said, oh, you're homophobic because we made LeFou gay. LeFou was not the reason I didn't like Beauty and the Beast live action. When you say, I didn't really care for the new Mulan, you're sexist. Because we made a strong, empowered female and you're a man who can't accept that. That's not the reason. I don't like the new Halo TV series. You are racist and sexist. And a toxic male who only loves the video games. You are the ones who bought the license to make the game a TV series. You're the ones who said, this game has a lot of fans, let's appeal to those fans by making a TV series. If you should be pleasing anyone, it is those toxic male video game fans. Don't accuse them of the reason your TV series failed when they're the very people you tried to please by buying it. See, that's what I love about anime. They're not trying to please me. They're trying to create something creative and let the market decide. Let the people decide whether or not they like it. You can make fun of anime all you want. You can mock Dragon Ball Z for its repetitive tropes. It's not trying to shove things down my throat. You can mock Monster Musume for having overly sexualized monster girls trying to go after this one guy who's about as intellectual and unique as bland toast. At least it's creative and it's letting the audience decide, hey, you know what, this is creative, or they'll say, you know what, this is smut, I'm not interested. And then they don't back themselves up by saying, well, you are a sexist, you are a racist, you are a homophobe, you are any level of problem that they think in this socio-geopolitical climate is somehow a problem. There was a time where Western studios and animation could create amazing content and amazing stories. There was a time where when a Marvel movie came out, you ran to the theaters to see what it was all about. There was a time when a Star Wars movie was announced, even if it was one of the prequels, you ran to the theaters to see what it was all about. Now, Star Wars is no longer guaranteed success. We have reached that point. Marvel, I now have no desire to see another Marvel movie. I have lost all interest in Marvel. I think that everything that's come out of Marvel, other than No Way Home, has been garbage. I no longer want to see a DC movie. Wonder Woman was the last good DC movie I've seen. And no, I don't think that the Batman was all that great. I think the actor did a fine job. I think the story was crap. I now no longer want to see a new Disney live action movie. The last good Disney live action remake was 101 Dalmatians. And that was from the 90s. But I will willingly see an anime that catches my eye. What does that tell you about the creative state of Hollywood, Western media, and all that? What does that tell you? If that doesn't make you stop and go, huh, that's interesting, then I'm glad that you enjoy what you enjoy. And again, this goes back to something that I always say. If you like something that I don't like, fine. That's totally serviceable. That's okay. You're free to like things I don't like. You're free to enjoy things that I don't enjoy. That's totally fine. But I think that there is a truth we can't ignore here, and that truth is this. While Eastern anime and animation and storytelling have only grown more popular and more beloved over time, Western storytelling, even if you like a lot of what they've released recently, has become less and less creative and less risky. They take fewer risks now that you have, like, oh, it's risky to add a strong female character? How? When everything you release has one. It's risky to have a black man starring in a role. How? When a lot of the movies you've released have them. It's risky to put homosexual characters as characters in a movie. How? When so many are having them now. You're not taking risks. You're doing what you think will be tried and safe. And you know it will be safe because if anyone dare criticize you, they're hateful bigots. That's a sign that your storytelling is crap. When you are creating artificial shield blocks against criticism rather than accepting the criticism as ways to make your storytelling better. Whew, that was a long rant. Thank you guys for coming to my TED Talk today and for watching my update. I hope that you guys have a wonderful rest of your week, and if you don't hear from me again, it's probably because someone assassinated me for what I had to say. But you know you heard it from me, folks. Have a great one, and I will see you in my next video. Take care.